Beyond the gate, I could see the large double oak front doors. One opened, and Edgar stepped onto the porch, made his way to the gate, accepted the package without a word to the mail carrier, and turned back to the house. The mail carrier moved on, but when Edgar reached the top of the stoop, he turned and looked right at me. I was startled. Not only was I under the shadow of a large tree, but I was standing partially behind its massive trunk. To make matters worse, the sun was shining directly in Edgar's eyes, yet he wasn't squinting. We stared at each other for over a minute. Finally, he motioned me forward with a wave of his hand. Without having any memory of crossing the street, I suddenly found myself standing at the front gate. I felt like I was in some sort of trance, conscious of my surroundings but unable to control myself. He walked to meet me, and when we were face to face, he said, "Mr. Sinclair, Dr. Vogel would like to make your acquaintance. Come in." I couldn't say a word in response, but when he opened the gate, I went through it and followed him up the walkway into the house. Somewhere, deep inside my head, I could hear screaming, a warning telling me to turn and run, but I couldn't seem to heed it. If Edgar said anything more, I didn't hear it. And the next thing I knew, I was alone in a large foyer. The floors were highly polished marble that reflected the light coming off the ornate chandelier above my head. But even with the light on, the room was dark, probably due to the rich blue wall color and dark woodwork. To the right side of the foyer, a carved staircase ascended with a hallway flanking its left side. I assumed that was where Edgar had disappeared to. A painting hung halfway up the staircase, and I moved closer to get a better look at it. It was the only artwork in the space. It was large, probably close to 6 feet in length and 4 feet in width. The edges of the canvas were dark and faded inward to lighter shades of blues, almost like a twilight sky. The eye was drawn to the center of the painting where a form appeared. Perhaps a person, but to me it looked like a ghost. More specifically like the swirling gray ghosts that met the tip of my trusty No. 2 pencil. As if to confirm this, another form, yellowish and more human in shape, seemed to be pointing at the gray mass. I was seeing all of this in a dreamlike state when suddenly car horns started blaring and I heard yelling. It shook me, woke me from whatever spell I was under, and I took one more look at the painting, shivered, and then quickly left the house. When I reached the gate, I could see my saviors. A delivery van had double parked, blocking the narrow street and making it impossible for anything bigger than a bicycle to pass. Several cars and a trash truck were all trying to get by. I didn't wait around to see who was going to win. I needed to get away from Edgar and Vogel as fast as I could, so I ran.